Domestic dispute, my wife.
You're having an issue with your wife?
Yes.
Okay, what's your wife's name?
Raquana Williams.
Was anybody physically hit or pushed?
Yes, me.
That was the wife of WNBA champion Raquana Williams. I covered the story about the altercation that happened back in July. Things got out of hand when the wife wanted to leave Raquana in Las Vegas because Raquana wouldn't spend time with her for a couple of days. Raquana was already going through some things, recovering from an injury, and was trying to get back in the game in time for the playoffs. You know, she wanted to help her team in their mission to win back-to-back championships. Vegas won their first title in 2022, and they are attempting to win again this year. Raquana, who wanted to be with her team for the ride, is now unable to join them, and it's all because of this situation with her wife. When I first told you about this, Raquana had been charged with 5 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. She was facing some very serious charges just 2 months ago. Well, now all of those charges have been dropped. All 9 of them. It's a lot to get into, but first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. WNBA champion Raquana Williams got into an argument with her wife after finding out that she was cheating on her. The wife told her that she wanted to go back to Florida to spend time with her son. She said that she was feeling some type of way because Raquana at the time hadn't spent quality time with her for a couple of days. That's when the woman said that she was leaving and going back to Florida, where both of them are from. The next day when she was about to leave, they got into an argument. Raquana ended up taking her phone where she saw that her wife was cheating on her. Things got really heated, and next thing you know, Raquana was putting hands and feet on the lady and even Chad Wheelered her. A lot of stuff ended up happening. I have more details in my previous video, but Raquana left the house. She took the woman's phone and other personal items and told her she better be going by the time that she got back. The wife ran to a neighbor's house, and he was the one who allowed her to use his phone to call the police. Now, when this first happened, what wasn't reported is how officers found Raquana so quickly. It was Raquana's therapist who also called 911. Raquana contacted her for help because she was so frustrated and upset that she was about to jump out of a window.
Hi. So I'm actually a licensed psychologist, and I have a client who has been texting me the mental health history and is making statements about suicide.
Did she say if she had a method she wanted to harm herself with?
Yeah.
What is she saying?
She said she's on the 2nd floor, so she would jump out the window. Okay, because, she's expecting that I'm going to come talk to her, so...
Okay, that's all right.
If they don't talk to me, I'm worried she'll do something.
That's all right. That's all right. That's what.
Okay.
That's the reason why I just had you just wait outside, okay?
Because Raquana was saying that she was going to self-delete herself and jump, the therapist called 911, and that's how the police ended up catching her so fast. Now, they hauled her off to jail. She was slapped with 9 charges total, 4 misdemeanors and 5 felonies. And it was shocking to me when she went before the judge allowed her to get out of jail free. She did not set a cash bail and allowed Raquana to walk away. That right there was unusual. The Aces put out a statement saying that the 10-year vet wasn't allowed to participate in any team activities while she was facing some serious time. And now all charges have been dropped. Why did that happen? Well, the victim, the wife, who went back to Florida, said that she didn't want to come back to Las Vegas to testify. She stopped cooperating with prosecutors, so now they are dropping the case, but claim they could still pursue charges later on if they wanted to. Prosecutors filed a notice that would allow them to present this case to a grand jury. But Raquana isn't worried about that. Her attorney, who used to be a prosecutor and dealt with these type of cases, said that he didn't believe they would ever take this to a grand jury. When the incident first took place, Raquana claimed that she was the victim, but she didn't have any marks on her. The wife did have marks, so they believed her. Also, it didn't help that Raquana was flip-flopping. She kept changing her story, and that's why they went after Raquana instead, But now that the wife is failing to cooperate, she told the DA that she did not want to fly back to Vegas to testify at a preliminary hearing. That's why they dropped the case. The wife backed out right before the preliminary hearing was supposed to take place, where they would have determined if there was enough evidence for Raquana to stand trial. Right after she was arrested back in July, the wife moved back to Florida and she stopped replying to employees from the DA's office who kept calling her. Then Raquana's attorney had a private investigator contact her. The wife told the PI that she had no desire to come back to Vegas. Raquana's Aces coach said her status, quote, has not changed. Raquana's been away from the team since July 26 following her arrest. In their previous statement, the organization said that she will be, quote, precluded from participating in team activities. As I previously reported, this wasn't Raquana's first incident. She was suspended back in 2019 for 10 games without pay when she was playing for the LA Sparks. And even then, it took the WNBA a long time to suspend her. That incident happened in December of 2018 when Raquana went rolling up to a house that her ex-girlfriend was at. She barged in, started putting hands on her, saying the girlfriend was cheating on her, and she threatened a man with a gun that was there who intervened. At least 2 guys there, I believe a father and a son, had to pull Raquana off the girlfriend. Raquana was always dealing with these women who cheated on her with men. That's been a constant thing going on. And that happened back in December 2018. She wasn't arrested until 4 months later in April 2019. And then the Sparks didn't suspend her until 3 months after the arrest in July 2019. A year later, those charges were dropped. She had completed a program then, and in this current case, she had to be monitored for alcohol and finish a DV program. But she's not even done with that, and they are already throwing the case away. This is Raquana's second case that she is basically getting away with after almost taking a woman's life and even threatening men too in the first case, the ones who intervened. And as usual, ESPN is not running this story around the clock. Eminem, Molly and Malika, and the other misandrists that supposedly care so much about protecting women and equality, they don't care about this case either. None of the social media misandrist blogs cared to report the story at all. And before in the previous video, you had people in the comments coming up with the excuse of her not being popular and that's why no one is reporting it. Like, stop it. How many times do we see them picking up stories of black men in the NBA, in the NFL, that no one knows, and they highlight those stories? I'm not talking about the star players either. I'm talking about players with low social network numbers and very low visibility. Remember, everybody on the NBA roster is not some big-time celebrity. Everybody on the NFL roster isn't some multi-million-dollar popular social media guy. And even in those cases involving lesser-known athletes, they will talk about those guys so much to the point you learn about them through the allegations. Malika brought up Adrian Payne and his allegations when he passed away. And most people didn't know who Adrian was, outside of a few people in Orlando and the state of Michigan. I think about the case with Darius Miles out of Alabama. Most people outside of the University of Alabama did not know who he was. And the media was allowed to really lie on that case all around. Then they had the media in Georgia, DC, and Maryland spreading misinformation. The blogs picked it up, spreading misinformation, saying that Darius tried to talk to the female victim in that case and she didn't want to talk to him, so he shot her. I mean, they totally ran with the wrong information. That came from the first fake news report, and everybody repeated that crap, except for me, of course, because I went to find out what really happened. The person with all that rah-rah wasn't even Darius. It was Darius's friend, a guy who was not a star athlete. He wasn't even an Alabama student, but he was hanging around guys like Darius, so everybody just dumped all of this on Darius Miles and started putting his picture up as the guy in the case when none of this went down that way. Let me know below if you all want to hear the true breakdown of the case. I'll do it. But what I'm telling you is Darius Miles, his name was ran through the ground. Brandon Miller was also dragged into this and talked about like crazy in the media everywhere. Malika Andrews even brought it up on NBA draft night while she was hosting a program that she should not have been hosting in the first place. She should have been at the WNBA draft as the lead woman empowerment advocate, Why are you hanging around the NBA instead of empowering the WNBA? It never made sense. Let's face it, Darius Miles was just as popular as Raquana Williams. But you see the difference? And here are two real cases with Raquana where she was really guilty of this nonsense, but got away with it twice. In the Darius Miles case though, it wasn't even him. It was a co-defendant that nobody knows, but they put all this on the college athlete, destroying his life and his career because it was more entertaining than talking about some random pookie who was really responsible for all of this. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. For the second time within 5 years, Raquana got away with very serious crimes. 1, are you surprised? And 2, what do you think is next for her? Will the Aces officially get rid of her, or will they eventually bring her back on? Shout out to the brothers Dark Power and Nicholas, as well as our sister Tiffany. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.